Good morning, afternoon or evening. Today we talk about each role and the do's and don'ts you should be aware of. I believe that there's a good chance your knowledge about the different roles are already sufficient, but I'm here today to make sure you know exactly how to act on each different role. Before we start, I also want to give you the opportunity to make a suggestion about what topics you want me to go over in the future videos. Just leave a comment with the things you like to see and I try my best to make a guide to help you with it. Now let's start with the roles. Let's first go over the jungle role, since each team needs one of them. And I really mean one of them. Let's be honest, we all hate to play a match when there's more than one jungler. So even if you want to jungle very badly and someone else picked the role, don't pick another jungler, because you and your team have a big disadvantage before the match even starts. So when you have the honor of fulfilling the jungle role, you need to have a few things in mind to make you a great benefit to the team. Efficiency is key when jungling. You want to have a clear farming route in your head and kill the monsters as fast as possible and move right towards the next monster. Just position yourself slightly towards the next monster, so you need to walk a shorter distance when the monster dies. You also don't have to kill the monster completely. The last tens of HP can be done by the true damage poison from your jungle item, which might save you 1 or 2 hits, which saves some time. Also, casting Retribution whenever it's available makes you cast it again quicker, so try to get this skill on cooldown the most amount of the time. If you don't play as a jungler, please don't steal his monsters. The first 5 minutes are really about killing jungle monsters and sometimes gank a lane. It's really forbidden to take out minions from your allies, except to help to defend a turret, because your allies also need to farm. Ganking is also a quite important aspect of your role. You want to gank on a safe way, with the risk of getting killed as small as possible. If you're an experienced Mobile Legends player, try to determine which enemy you can counter the best and try to target this one to be more effective. A good jungler knows to keep a clear balance of farming efficiently while ganking sufficiently on a safe way. The jungler also is the one who should take initiative to take out the turtle or lord, so don't be afraid to ask your allies to help you fulfill this task. In mid to late game, it's time to focus on objectives. Map awareness is therefore quite important to determine on which lane you can help to destroy a turret. If you follow these rules, you can be a very effective jungler, and I'm really proud if you already act on such a way. Next, I want to go over the tank role, since a great tank makes your team fight so much easier. The tank often uses the roam item and has the important job to take the damage and protect the squishy heroes, so they can deal damage. Your build plays a huge role. You want to select the right items for the right situation. I've explained in my advanced tank guide that you should always set up 3 different builds on each tank hero. One with a balanced build, another build with mainly physical defense, while the third build should consist mainly of magic defense items. Then just pick the right build accordingly, based on the team composition of the enemy. This trick has led me to such great tank matches, and I highly suggest you check out that video if you need to improve your tank skills. The tank also should never walk alone. You're such an easy target and likely don't deal that much damage as a tank, so please make sure you stay next to the carry. A tank also shouldn't be afraid to die. It's so much better to sacrifice your own life so your carry can live, and this is really what a tank does. This doesn't mean you should die unnecessary and feed, but you're a true hero if you give your life, if this means your ally can escape or make kills. In a team fight, a tank should stay on the front to block incoming attacks and keep these squishy heroes alive. If everyone is attacking each other, it's your task to stay close to the carry and protect him from incoming enemies. You especially want to keep the Marksman alive, since he often deals the most amount of damage. A tank often has some CC skills, which helps to drive enemies away from the Marksman, so please remember that this is your main job during a team fight. If you follow these instructions well, I love to have such a tank in my team. Let's continue with the fighter role, which consists of a big variety of heroes. Fighter heroes usually attack from a close distance and often have a skill to move quickly towards a certain location. The skill is quite useful, Since fighters are heroes who should move quickly towards the squishy hero and start attacking it. You often need a balanced build between defensive and offensive items as a fighter to fulfill your task effectively. A fighter with 2 less defense dies fast, while having 2 less offensive items make your damage too low. A fighter always plays at the XP lane and should focus on leveling up as quickly as possible. In a team fight, it's your job to initiative the fight and aim for the squishy heroes like the Mage or Marksman hero. We just learned that the tank hero should protect the carry, so be aware that you might come across the tank if he fulfills his role properly. The Marksman is in most situations the main damage dealer, so this should have your priority. However, for a fighter it's also important to estimate which hero you can counter best. If you play a hero who can easily take out the Mage, you should try to focus on this hero instead. Also, when the tank dies or misses in a team fight, you as a fighter can partly take over his job to protect your carry. This way he can deal the damage while you try to tank the hits. This really is in a nutshell how you should play as a fighter. Next we have the Marksman role, which are the heroes with the highest DPS. I also never want to see 2 Marksmen in one team, so please don't ever choose the second Marksman. Your main role in early game is to obtain as much gold as possible. I've made a guide about how you can win in early game, and if you play as a Marksman, those tips apply the most on your role. Just farm on the most efficient way possible and make sure you don't die or recall unnecessary. The Marksman does really well in destroying turrets because of his high DPS and high range. Also, the Lord and Turtle get killed quite fast when you help the jungler, so keep your eyes open to obtain some extra gold for your team. The Marksman role is probably one of the hardest ones in a team fight, because you deal the highest damage, which makes the enemy prioritize you. That's why positioning is really important. Don't stay in front of your team, even when this is really tempting because of your long basic attack range. You always want 1 or 2 heroes in front of you, so they can take the damage and you can safely hit them and make a kill. Marksmen are really not the role to play aggressively in a team fight. Just try to stay behind and let the tank, support or fighter protect you. Slow and steady definitely wins the race. The last tip is don't walk solo too often, especially in late game. Only when you're sure there's no chance you can get ganked, you can walk towards a lane to clear the minions or take out some jungle monsters. With these tips in mind, I hope you become a star Marksman player. Next, we'll go over the Mage role, which you definitely need to have a balance between physical and magic damage. Mage heroes always need to play on the mid lane. Playing in the center lane has the advantage of being able to gank easily at both lanes. That's why in early game you want to clear the minions as fast as possible to then look for opportunities to make kills at one of the other lanes. This can help your allies big time. Some mage heroes deal high burst damage, while others have more continuous damage kills. When you play a high burst damage mage, hiding in a bush helps a lot to surprise the enemy and make a kill or assist. The continuous damage heroes should just go in and deal damage or poke the enemy. A great mage hero makes sure he clears his lane often, but also ganks enough on other lanes to make sure your fighter or marksman can win his lane. In mid to late game, you want to position yourself somewhere between the middle and backline in a team fight. Always try to prioritize the marksman or any other squishy hero in range and ignore the tank, especially when you play as a high burst damage mage. Play safely while trying to deal as much damage as possible. With this information, you hopefully can improve your playstyle a bit. If not, it means you already are a fine mage hero player. Next we have the assassin heroes, who are often played as the jungler or sometimes at the XP lane. Assassins characterize themselves as the role who deal high damage in a short amount of time and have a quite nice mobility. This helps them to move quickly through the map and deal a lot of damage to one or more enemies. I already went over how you should play as a jungler, but at the lane it's a bit different in early game. Here it's still important to farm efficiently, but staying alive and make kills is a bit more important now. The true power of an assassin is his high burst damage, and getting killed causes you lose some valuable farming time, which leads to less damage. The less damage you deal, the less danger you are, so make sure you don't fall behind when playing as an assassin. The strong and fun part of an assassin who's fat is that you can make kills easily, which makes walking through the enemy jungle or towards an underlane a lot of fun. During a team fight, you shouldn't be visible when it hasn't started yet. Instead, you want to move sideways from the enemy to try to dodge the tank and fight the heroes, and go straight for the Marksman or Mage hero. Some heroes can do this better than other ones, but this strategy is great to remove a big part of the damage output of the enemy team. It might take a bit of practice and an experienced tank might make this hard, but you definitely want to aim for the Marksman. It helps to use the hero lock mode, and I've explained how to set up and use this in my video about the best settings in Mobile Legends. Follow these rules and you'll become a scary killing machine. Then we only have the support heroes left, which are the heroes to support the carry. The support often gets chosen instead of a tank, which makes the support to build some defense as well, especially when your fighter isn't that defensive. The support should also pick the roam item when there's no tank and need to focus on making his carry stronger. This means healing or buffing the carry whenever possible to make him farm as efficiently as possible. In a team fight, you act kinda the same as the tank. Try to protect your carry as well as possible. The support often has some useful CC skills. While it's often really tempting to use those skills whenever possible, it's often more rewarding if you wait to use it on the perfect moment. Players usually use their CC early in a team fight, which means that your allies as the enemies are harmed by the CC the most in the first seconds. If you wait just a bit, you can CC the enemy while your allies are free of stun effects, so they all can deal damage to the target. This helps me often in a team fight, and I dare you to try this a few times. It really helps to be a great support. With this being said, we went over all roles, except for the roam role, which I think is too much for this video. If you want me to share information about how to roam perfectly, please let me know in the comments. For now, I really hope you enjoyed watching this guide, and more importantly, learned something. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you again in the next guide.